So today we're doing a deep dive into something really important, the link between toxic stress and childhood trauma. We're drawing a lot from Dr. Nadine Burke Harris's incredible book, The Deepest Well.
Yeah, and our mission here is really to unpack how that pain from early childhood, it doesn't just, stay emotional. It actually shapes our physical health, our lifespan, really quietly. We're looking at trauma less as a psychological issue and more biological, a physical risk factor.
Okay, let's unpack this quiet epidemic. So Dr. Harris, she started out as a pediatrician, right? And she began noticing this pattern in her clinic. It was, well, kind of heartbreaking. She'd see these kids, seemingly healthy kids, but they were dealing with so many chronic things at once: asthma, really bad ADHD, obesity, anxiety.
All piling up.
Exactly. And it made her ask this fundamental question: how does all that stress, that constant crushing stress, actually cause physical disease in the body?
Right. And her search for answers, it led her straight to this landmark study. You've probably heard of it, the ACE study.
ACU, yeah. Adverse childhood experiences.
That's the one. And it really laid the scientific groundwork for this whole connection.
Yeah.
The study basically measures 10 different types of major childhood trauma. Things like abuse, neglect, sure, but also growing up with, say, household violence or parents struggling with substance use, that kind of dysfunction.
And the finding was just staggering. I mean, for you listening, realize this. The study showed that the higher someone's ACE score was,
Meaning the more types of trauma they'd faced?
the higher the risk, significantly higher for really serious adult diseases. We're
Yeah.
talking heart disease, cancer, depression.
And even early death, a much higher risk of dying young.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's the pivot point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where trauma stops being just, in your head
Yeah.
and becomes this undeniable, measurable biological risk factor.
So, okay, let's dig into that. How does it actually work scientifically? How does a tough childhood environment translate into, like, physical illness years down the line?
Well, this is where we need to talk about toxic stress. It's different from the normal stress we all get, before a test or
yeah,
something.
that goes away.
Right. Normal stress is temporary. The stress response turns off. But toxic stress, that happens when a child faces constant, really overwhelming adversity and, critically, without enough support from adults to buffer it.
So that constant chaos just keeps the body's, like, alarm system switched on all the time?
Precisely. The fight or flight response,
Yeah.
the adrenaline, the cortisol, it's just pumping constantly.
Mm.
These chemicals are designed to save you in like a 5-minute emergency, but they're flooding the system for years.
That can't be good.
No, it becomes like poison over time. This chronic chemical bath, it messes with hormone regulation, it weakens the immune system, and maybe most importantly, it actually changes the physical structure, the wiring of the developing brain.
So the body itself learns to live on high alert, biologically.
That's it.
And that completely reframes how we think about adult health problems, doesn't it? It suggests maybe differences in health or resilience aren't always about willpower or bad choices later on.
Exactly. Yeah. It could be biology shaped by really tough experiences early on. The physical evidence is really clear on that now.
That sounds pretty bleak, that picture of the damage. But the book doesn't stop there, right? There's a shift towards hope, towards solutions.
Definitely.
And Dr. Harris makes it personal, too, sharing her own story, which really gives the mission this urgency. The key is that the brain isn't fixed.
Absolutely. And the science supports that hope. We know about brain plasticity.
Meaning it can change.
Yes. The same biology that got wired for survival can actually be rewired for health. Biology can heal. It really can.
So what does that healing look like? How do you calm down that overactive stress system in practice?
Well, the methods are often things we know are good for us, but they become crucial interventions here. Things proven to soothe that toxic stress response, like establishing real safety and predictability for kids, consistent love and connection, specialized therapy, of course, but also things like mindfulness practices, really prioritizing good sleep, proper nutrition. These are biological interventions, too.
It sounds like a whole system approach.
It has to be. And if you zoom out, this understanding really positions treating trauma not just as individual therapy, but as like a major public health effort. It means screening kids, building community support systems. It's revolutionary, really.
There's a powerful quote from Dr. Harris that sums it up. Pain, when unhealed, becomes inheritance, and love, when offered, becomes medicine.
That says it all.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Well, maybe it means understanding that when you see someone struggling, maybe with health issues, maybe with behavior, they might be a survivor of toxic stress. They might need compassion and biological support, not judgment.
Right. And if we accept that acknowledging the biology of trauma is that crucial first step, Well, it leaves you with a pretty big question to think about, doesn't it? How must our basic institutions think about schools, doctors' offices, community centers? How must they be fundamentally redesigned to actually prioritize creating safety and promoting healing instead of just managing the symptoms after the fact?